where every word opens a new world. Welcome to the portal of stories.
They say when every door shuts, the soul starts to forget what hope used to feel like. That silence becomes heavier when no one asks if you're okay, and that sometimes pain doesn't scream. It just sits beside you, quietly, every single day. This is not the story of someone who conquered the world. It's the story of someone who nearly gave up. Clara wasn't seeking attention or pity. She simply wanted to stop feeling like a burden. But just when she believed the universe had forgotten her, a sign appeared. Not a burst of light, not an angel with wings of fire, just a window, open, and a soft voice that reminded her that even in the deepest darkness, a spark can still be enough to begin again. This story is for those who've thought about giving up, for those who've believed the world would be better without them, for the ones who carry silent sadness no one else sees. To you we say, not all exits are sealed. Sometimes, you just have to look up.
Clara lived in a small town where the sun barely managed to pierce the thick gray clouds, and the days passed like invisible shadows. At 30 years old, her face bore the marks of an emotional exhaustion, deeper than any physical fatigue, and her eyes seemed to have grown used to looking inward rather than toward the world. Unpaid bills covered the kitchen table, reminders of a future that kept slipping further away, while her silence filled the house like a weight too heavy to lift. Life had not been kind, and in recent months it felt as though every path had collapsed beneath her feet. One by one, Clara had come to believe she was a burden to the people she loved most. Her mother's quiet glances, her younger brother's forced smiles, all of it echoed the same painful truth in her heart. She no longer felt loved. She felt tolerated, and that hurt more than any spoken word. In her mind, a thought began to form, not violent, but persistent. A whisper that suggested maybe if she disappeared, things would get better for everyone. Maybe her mother would sleep again without crying in secret. Maybe her brother could laugh freely without guilt. Maybe life would finally breathe again without her heaviness pressing down on it. She didn't want to die exactly. She just didn't want to exist. Not like this, not as a weight. And that twisted thought became her only comfort. Still, each time it came too close, a chill would run down her spine, as if something deep within her was still fighting, clinging to life with fragile, desperate fingers. One cold evening after a particularly hard day, Clara walked out into the streets without direction. The sky was dark, the wind sharp, and the town quiet in that heavy way that only broken hearts can notice. She walked past shuttered windows and flickering streetlights, her steps slow and heavy until she felt it. A presence behind her, subtle but undeniable, a stillness in the air that made her stop and turn. And there he was, a man standing calmly under a dim light, his figure glowing faintly as if lit from within. He didn't breathe, didn't blink. And when he spoke, it wasn't a sound but a presence that filled her chest. "Do not be afraid, Clara." She froze, not out of fear, but out of awe. "Who are you?" "I am Gabriel, a messenger, a traveler between what was and what could be." She didn't know whether she was dreaming or breaking, or finally being seen by the universe itself. "What do you want from me?" Gabriel smiled without pressure, without judgment, only compassion. "I've come to show you that even in your darkest hour, there is a light that can guide you. You have never been alone." Then he raised his hand and the world around them dissolved. Suddenly, Clara stood in a long corridor filled with doors. Each time she reached for one, it slammed shut, loud and final, the echo of rejection pounding in her ears. She fell to her knees, overwhelmed, suffocated by the feeling that life had no place for her. "Look up," Gabriel said softly. Clara lifted her head, and there it was, a window small, far away, but open. From it poured a golden light, soft and warm, like a beacon in a storm. "When all doors close, there is always a window left open," said Gabriel. Clara stood slowly, her body shaking, but her soul rising, and she began to walk toward that light. As she moved, memories began to bloom around her. Her mother working 2 jobs so she could study, her brother hugging her when she failed her friends who once believed in her dreams. Gabriel walked beside her saying nothing, but being everything, like the warmth of a forgotten embrace. Faith, he said, is not only belief, it's the decision to keep moving even when the road disappears. They reached the window, and Clara looked out. She saw a world not perfect, but real, filled with simple joys, future friends and paths still untouched. Your spark was never lost, said Gabriel. It only needed to remember that fire hides under ashes but never truly dies. She woke up in her bed. Morning light streamed through the open window, and though she wasn't sure if any of it had been real, she knew something inside her had shifted. She picked up her phone, called her mother and her brother, and shared her promise to stay to try to fight back against the darkness. That day, her struggles didn't disappear, but she chose to live. She joined a support group, searched for work, helped others who felt as she had, and rebuilt herself piece by piece. Pain remained, but she no longer feared it, because she had found strength in facing it. As weeks turned to months, Clara learned to see the windows even when surrounded by closed doors. And when she looked back, she didn't see the void. She saw light. She saw Gabriel. And she knew that even amidst the storm, life could still offer beauty.
Thank you for listening. The journey has just begun. Until next time.